Jambo, my friends. Today, we're going to be talking about the squat. Yes, the squat. The squat is something that works our legs, primarily our quadricep muscle, that front muscle right here in the front of your legs, okay? That's what the squat is focusing. Also, the squat can work on a little bit of your glutes, gauge a little bit of your hamstrings, but it mostly focuses on your quads, okay? So we're gonna go over the form and everything so that you can do a squat in a safe and correct manner. Okay, so let's talk about the form of the squat, and we're gonna start from the feet and we're gonna work our way up, okay? Because this is something that we wanna make sure that we do safely and we learn it the right way. So the first thing is we wanna make sure with our feet that our feet are about hip width, shoulder length apart. So what does that mean? Let's look at where our shoulders is and let's look at where our hips is. If my feet is right here, they're inside, okay? They're inside the distance of my hips and of my shoulders. If my feet are all the way out here, they're outside. So I want to make sure that if I was to draw a line from my shoulders and my hips, that the feet are following that same track, okay? Now, once I know that my feet are in place, the second thing that we want to focus on is knowing where we're going to put our weight into. We want to put our weight into the heels of our feet. So everybody, do me a favor. Take your toes and say, hello, hello. Take your toes and say hello, all right? That is not where we are going to put our weight. So if we're putting our weight into our toes, it's going to look like this. No, we want to make sure that we are putting all of our weight into the heels of our feet. Our heels should be into the floor, okay? Into the floor. Now, once we have it there are going to be two types of squats that we're about to go over. Okay, so starting out on a squat, a lot of people want to go ahead and just drop it like it's hot. That's not what we're doing, okay? We want to make sure that we're doing it with the proper form. So we want to watch where our knees are when we go down to the squat and make sure they're not going far above our toes. They actually want to hit an imaginary wall when we go down to the squat, because remember, we are putting the weight into our heels, all right? So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. So the first thing we're going to do is called a demi squat or a half squat, a modified squat, whatever you want to call it, okay? But what this is doing is making sure that we're going a little bit shorter than what we would do in a regular squat. So my weight is in the heels of my feet, okay? I have my feet in a line with my hips, with my shoulders. And what I'm going to do is, just like if I had an imaginary chair, I'm going to sit back slightly in that chair and I'm coming right back up. So notice I didn't go down super low. I just went down just a little bit because I'm doing a half squat, demi squat, okay? Now, I'm going to hold it right here. Now, if I was to take a imaginary pen, imaginary marker, and I was to draw a line, my knees are behind my toes. And that's the goal when I'm doing a squat. Now, if I was to put the weight into my toes, whoa, look at where my knees are. They're in front of my toes. And now all my weight is in the front of my foot. So I want to make sure that I'm putting my weight in the back. So now, once we have that and we feel comfortable with the half squat, the demi squat, we're going to go into a full range of motion squat. Now this means that, and I know some of you may be too young to know about what an angle is, okay? But we're going to talk about something that's called a 90-degree angle. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your hand and I want you to put one up like this. And we're going to take the other hand and we're going to make it like this. It's almost like we're making an L. Maybe it's backwards to you, maybe it's forwards to you, okay? We're making an L. Now, when we go down to do the squat, we want to make sure that our knees is at a 90-degree angle. So when I make this point right here is 90 degrees, okay? And that's what I want to make when I go down into a squat. So I'm going to turn back sideways again, and we're going to go down to a squat, and you let me know if you see the 90 degrees. So let's see. We're going to sit into our chair, and let's look at the angle right here. We should be at 90 degrees. And then we're going to come back up. All right, let's do it one more time. We're going to come Sit into the chair, sit, sit, sit. Oh, now you notice the legs start shaking. And then we come up. Now, just like we talked about in other exercises, we have to focus on the breathing. That's always the most important thing. Sometimes when we're doing exercises, we tend to hold our breath. But how can I get stronger if I have no oxygen coming in? I need to breathe. So how do I breathe? I breathe in the nose as I come down, and then I exhale as I come up. Breathe in, breathe out. When it comes to the squat, what I recommend to all of you is just as I said with any other exercise, okay? You want to make sure that you crawl before you walk and you walk before you run, okay? Start off small and do at least 2 to 3 days a week. Now, how many reps, how many sets should we do when it comes to the squat? If you're just starting out and you're beginning, the first thing we should work on is practicing your form and practicing the technique to make sure that you're doing it the right way. So watch these videos multiple times over and over to make sure that you're doing it the best way that you can. Once you know that you have the form down, I would recommend doing it in 3 days, 3 times for anywhere between 5 to 15 reps. 5 to 15 reps, and repeat that 3 times in one workout, okay? This will make sure that you're working your legs, you're getting a great good exercise in that front leg muscle, which is called your quadriceps, okay? You're getting a great exercise in that, and then as that becomes easier and easier and easier, you know the secret, we're going to add more, okay? So do your best, start small, and that's how you get to the big things. Jambo.